success. So I am super excited. All right. So welcome everybody. So you are either on the Zoom here and you've got a chat on the side, or you are watching us from the Facebook page, which will be amazing because now we're going to have two places that people can watch and get this information later on. So I will still download this recording to YouTube so then we can share it with people that aren't on Facebook. And so that is always really helpful too. So anyway, all right. So we are going to get started. I'm really excited tonight to have Michelle Dory here tonight. So she's a platinum leader within our community. And she honestly, she's kind of the professional on respiratory stuff because this is right in her lane of, you know, breathing and her yoga that she has such a passion for. And so that is really an important piece of our wellness journey, right? Is knowing how to handle stress, because when we can handle that part really well, then our body is really able to combat lots of different things. And so I'm going to actually let her kick us off here because she has a wealth of information, and then I'm going to come back and I'll wrap us up a little bit. So you take it away, Michelle.
All right. Welcome, everyone. So does everybody have an oil? If you have an oil, hold it up. I've got Ravensara, which is the first oil I want to talk about tonight, and it's a freebie this month. So we're just going to do a quick breath just to get us all grounded before we talk about respiratory health and why it's so important right now. So 1 drop in your left palm, whatever you have, and feel free to type your oil in the chat too. We can look at that after. I love the Ravensara right now. I'm using that a lot. So just breathe that in from your palms and just take a minute to come into your body. So a couple things about breathing. I'm really passionate about it because I suffered with breathing issues for years and years and years, and I thought that was normal, and now I know it's not normal. So we're just going to take a big breath through our nose. That's number 1. Breathing through the nose, healthiest breath. So if you can just take a big belly breath, let your belly fill, and exhale. And just notice if you feel a shift in energy, just with that 1 breath. Try it again. Inhale, exhale. And I like to kind of roll my shoulders back too, because we just get so slouchy, right? We're kind of over our phones, over our computers. So when we have good posture, our respiratory health is better. So I love to see some of you out there just taking that breath. That's what I come back to 10 or even 20 times a day, just a breath or 2 through my nose. So just to kind of fill you in, I had respiratory issues from the time I can remember. And like I said, I thought it was normal. I was medicated. I had my tonsils out when I was 9, but it was antibiotics for like 3 or 4 years before that. So in the 70s, they like to take your tonsils out. So that was, you know, a big thing when I was 9. And then I got like severe allergies. And then the asthma came. And then it was bronchitis every year. And so when I went to the class where I joined 6 years ago next month, I was just so, well, first of all, you can probably see my diffuser going back there. This is what really made me, this was my aha moment of, wow, here I am in November. I usually get the seasonal affective, like through, you know, the dark, I live in northern New York, so it's like, it gets really kind of dark and cold and damp from October on. And I felt so different in my home. And as some of you probably know, it was shocking to me to find out our homes are our most toxic environments. And that's really a scary thought. So the things that we're spraying, the things that we bring into our homes, you know, paint and furniture and all of those things. And so I noticed a difference right away using a Young Living diffuser. And we've had them, you know, we have them in all of our rooms. And so I'd love for you to even type in the chat, like, what are you diffusing tonight? Or what have you been diffusing that just feels really good? I've heard from so many of my friends that feel the same thing. It's a shift in the energy in your home. And especially for those of us that can't get outside as much through the winter, it just makes all the difference. So I've been basically diffusing Ravensara. And I want to just mention this one because I did a little research on it when I found out it was one of the freebies this month. And in Madagascar, they call this the healing oil. And I just love that. It was something I didn't know. So raise your hand if you do Essential Rewards. Awesome. So every month, I feel like Essential Rewards gives me a chance to learn about a new oil or two or three or a new product. So I always grab my reference guide, I dig into that, and I learned a lot about this one for respiratory health. So it's the oil that heals. It also supports our nervous and respiratory systems. Now, I used to make my own chest rub. That was like a big, big thing for me the first few years that I was a member, pretty much 4 years. And then Young Living came up with this new Thieves chest rub, which I am loving. The two of these to me smell a lot alike. There's actually Ravensara in this, so that would explain why. Ravensara is also called camphor, which I never knew. So when I kind of dug into the products I wanted to talk about tonight and started really smelling them and comparing them, this is a great alternative to making my own now. So I was the Vicks queen, slap it all over the chest, the feet, put the socks on, all of that. And, you know, that's filled with petroleum. So if you haven't really done the ditch and switch yet, it's amazing when you start to look at the ingredients in your products. And that was really the big switch for me as far as everything I put on my skin. So chest rub was one of the first things I made. And I actually made it with an oil that came in my kit called RC. And now when I blend up respiratory oils, I'll use some RC, I'll use things like Ravensara, or especially if you're new and you've just gotten your kit, Raven. So Raven actually is a blend that has the Ravensara, it has lemon, wintergreen, peppermint, and eucalyptus radiata. And so I love that this one comes in the kit now instead of the RC. I believe it was because, you know, Young Living, one of the things that I love is that they're so true to the seed to seal promise. And so you'll notice that sometimes things go out of stock and it's hard to stay patient, but I always have that in the back of my mind now that it's because something can't be sourced. And so they find an alternative usually. And so I think that's kind of where that shift went. And I really love them both. So if you have used RC or Raven, certainly type in the chat what you're loving about that. Raven, what I learned about these respiratory oils, I actually learned from my mom and my gram. So just to kind of backtrack, my gram's 92 years old and she has COPD. So she smoked for 65 years. And when she was about 80, the doctor said, you know, you need to, if you want to live to see your great grandkids and you need to quit the smoking and, you know, do some healing. And so she was one of my first members, and she and my mom, they sleep with oils like these respiratory oils in their diffuser all the time. And I was just using lavender. I was the lavender, like lavender's the king of, you know, sleep. But really, raise your hand if you like to sleep with any of these respiratory. Because I remember the first time my mom, she was like RC all the way. And I remember her saying, oh my gosh, I got the best night's sleep last night. And it was the RC. And she still uses this one in the diffuser. And so there's something really soothing about that. And I want to just talk to you, backtrack to the nasal breathing. You know, breathing through our nose is the cilia in our nose is actually the healthiest way that we can be breathing all the time, but especially when it gets colder, and especially when you're just really trying to be mindful of your health. It actually filters the air before it enters the lungs. And so most people, this is just a kind of a shocking statistic, most of us only use 10 to 20% of our lung capacity. So just think about that for a moment. It's amazing. But yet when we tap into breathing more and really doing that nasal breathing, we expand our lung capacity, we sleep better, we actually stay hydrated better breathing through our nose, more oxygen, it balances the blood pH, we sleep better. I might have already said that one. It actually helps us to have better workouts, and it reduces our stress a ton. So there have been studies that have been done. You guys have all heard of sleep apnea and, you know, the snoring and the sleep apnea and all of that. There have been studies done where there's actually a book I'm reading right now called Breath. You may have seen it. It's kind of new. It's yellow, and trying to think of the author right now, but he actually did a study where they plugged up their nostrils for like 10 full days and could only breathe out their mouth. And you wouldn't believe the symptoms that they were having not breathing through the nose. And so when I'm using all of these, it reminds me really of our respiratory health overall and being mindful every day to take some breaths through the nose and make that more of a habit. By the way, the oil that my grandma loves most, and I didn't even tell Susan I was going to talk about this, but it just hit me before we got on here, was the Breathe Again roll-on. So there's just so many, you know, tools that you can use. These roll-ons that are already pre-made, there are 5 or 6 of them, and they're so, so handy. So she actually was on, oh my gosh, so many inhalers and so many things. And now she actually like scolds me if I go over and her rollers are running low because I whip her up rollers and I always make sure she has the Breathe Again. So getting back to, let's see, actually I'll jump on to what else I fell in love with that did not come with my kit. So raise your hand if you got one of these in your kit. It doesn't come in the kit anymore. Okay, Tammy did, cool. Because they had some leakage issues. But truly the other product that changed my life and that makes such a huge difference in my home environment is the Thieves Cleaner. So if you're not using this one, I promise you, 1 bottle equals 20 to 25 bottles of cleaner. And it's absolutely amazing. It's kind of my favorite gift to give people throughout this season, especially now, because it is so life-changing. And the reason I say that is because what I didn't realize was my asthma and my allergies and all of those things were just being exacerbated by my cleaning products. I would clean, right? I see some head shakes. I would clean in the fall, winter, go outside, and then my lungs were compromised and I would get bronchitis. Never failed. And I just thought that was normal. Like I said, it's not normal. When your air is clean in your home and you can control some of that, you will breathe so much easier. And it's really amazing. Lastly, I think I want to kind of show you one other little fun trick, because DIY is kind of my thing. And this is something that I don't buy through my rewards, but I love to make at this time of year. So have you ever seen these little tubes? Because it's funny, when I smell the chest rub and when I smell the Ravensara, it really reminds me of, do you remember those Vicks nasal inhalers? Okay, which actually I'm convinced completely screwed my dad up, because he just would, he would just sniff, sniff, sniff. And now he's had like 2 sinus surgeries. He's always got sinus issues. And he had those Vicks, and now I make him these, and I make him a sinus spray actually with the Raven. I make him a nasal sprayer, because otherwise he would just be doing all the stuff at the drugstore, and he loves when I make him things. So these handy little things, I ended up getting them in like a 10 pack, and they have a little cover. And for some reason, my inserts must have fallen out in my little cabinet, but there's a little cotton insert. You can take some of these respiratory oils and even peppermint, Raven, drop it on the cotton insert, put it in here, and then you just twist it off, and you've got a little something to take with you, you know, to remind you to breathe. But wonderful little tool that I think I love to take them like if I fly. It's a really good trick to kind of keep your nasal passages clean and open and healthy. So yeah, so I'm just gonna check here and see if you guys have any questions. And I don't know if we're gonna wait till the end to unmute anyone, Susan.
Yeah, we can wait till the end to do questions. So yeah, do you want me to share, and then?
Yeah, you can share yours, and then we can chat.
Okay, so talking about the little, okay, I'm just gonna say it because who else thought that those were like little tampon things? Okay, I'm just still saying. I'm sorry for the guys watching, but I mean that's exactly what it looked like, right? So can you imagine you're out in public and you stick one of those up your nose? People are gonna be like, "What is this crazy person doing?" But that is good, right? I mean, having resources like that is so important, right? Because we want to make better choices. And I will tell this story. I wasn't planning to, but this jogged my memory when Michelle was talking about her dad. When I was pregnant with my first child, and she's now almost 28, my hormones were crazy and my nasal passages got all swollen up and everything, and I got addicted to Afrin. Anybody else ever had that happen? It's like once you use it, like, oh, I'm just going to use it a couple times because I'm so stuffy. It damages the inside of your nasal passages, and then you become addicted. And it's like you have to like get yourself off of it. And I'm like, I will stay far away from that forevermore because it is nasty. But one of the things which is really great too, and we've talked about it before, so if you are watching this and you're in the Facebook group, you could search for the nose swipe, but this one is a great one for respiratory health, and especially for the fall and winter season. And what it is just, you can take a little bit, you can use coconut oil. I know a lot of people prefer to use the rose ointment, and you just take a little bit in a container of either of those, and you can add whatever oil you like. A lot of people really enjoy using Egyptian gold, but you could use a lot of the oils that Michelle just mentioned, Raven or RC. Another one, which is one of my favorites, is Dorado Azul. It smells so good. So if you're one of those people that really likes the eucalyptus kind of scents, you know, that really open up the airways, you'll really enjoy Dorado Azul too. So I just wanted to mention that nose swipe. So, and I'm going to share a couple of the resources that are really great for you guys to have on hand. So this one here, if you can see it, it's for your body systems. And it talks about, you guys, all of the different body systems here. You probably can't even see it, but cardiovascular, digestive, endocrine, nervous, reproductive, respiratory, urinary, all of these. But what is wonderful about this particular book, and this is available at Life Science Publishing, okay, so you can Google Life Science Publishing, you're gonna find a lot of great resources that you can stock up to be empowered, because that's really what we want, right? We want everybody to be empowered to use what they have. But it has a lot of great recipes. So for example, there's a diffuser blend recipe that has RC and Raven combined for your diffuser. Try that if you haven't. That's really great. You can make a roll-on your own just with an empty 5 milliliter or a 15 milliliter bottle. So once you use your oils, right, don't throw those bottles away, friends. Okay, we want to save them, and then you can reuse them by adding your oils to an empty bottle. And then Young Living also sells the aroma fitaments. I think they're Aroma Glide fitaments, and they might be out of stock right now, but watch for them to come back in because they're the little metal roller bottle top that you can buy in a set of 10. So then you can make any bottle into a roller. And so that is really great. But this example has eucalyptus radiata. So Young Living, I think, has 4, maybe 5 different eucalyptus oils, which are incredible for respiratory support. So just keep that in mind. I will tell you, if you don't have any eucalyptus oil, you want the first one I would put on your list that's going to be the most versatile for everybody in your family is eucalyptus radiata. Okay, so just keep that one in mind. But they have Ravensara and eucalyptus radiata in a roller bottle blend. So that was good. And then don't forget to use these respiratory oils in an Epsom salt detox bath, because if you begin to feel a little bit under the weather, you know, using oils topically and diffusing that's great, but let's get it at all angles, right? And so hopping into the bathtub and taking a soak for a little bit, just be really sensitive that you want to have your oils kind of absorbed by the Epsom salt. Put them in the bathtub. Make sure you stir your water really well before you hop in, because I will tell you, this has happened to me before. I haven't stirred the water very well, and then I sit down and my bum is sitting on those Epsom salt with some spicy oils, and so you just want to be careful about that. So, so those are things to keep in mind. Couple things, these, you guys, if you do not have one of these in your little stash right now, I highly recommend you get it. So we have the Thieves Cough Drop, and then we also have the Thieves Lozenges, okay? So the only difference is the Cough Drop has a little extra added menthol, so we can actually call them a cough drop, and they are considered an over-the-counter product. And so, so that's the only difference. Some people like one over the other, but they're both super effective. For one, getting thieves inside your body, right? And I will tell you, my 10-year-old, he's asking for these right now. He doesn't not feel good. He just likes the way they taste. And I'm all like, you go, you have some. So, and you can actually break them into smaller pieces. So if you have younger children and that lozenge might be too big, maybe it's a little bit too strong, just, you know, get a little hammer or a knife and you could break them up into smaller pieces as well. So that's something that you'll want to keep in mind. Oh, I forgot to grab my Ningxia Red bottle, but if you are new here and don't know a lot about Ningxia Red, I'll just briefly touch on it because you guys, oils are amazing and they are a great way to help our body. But when we want to back things up a little bit and make sure that your body is getting the nutrients that it really needs to have the immune system functioning well, so then your respiratory system can function well, one of the top things that we want to make sure that we're getting is Ningxia Red. Super high antioxidant drink that is made from the wolfberry, which tastes really good. It's one of those things where sometimes the things that are really good for you don't taste very good, right? Okay, like that kale smoothie. This is really good for you, but doesn't really taste very good. But Ningxia Red is totally different. So, so you'll want to make sure that you check that out. So it was a game changer for our family and our health journey when we began taking Ningxia Red every single day. And I'll share that my husband was really a skeptic when I started using oils 7.5 years ago. And he kept coming home from work and he was sick. So he was a pilot for commercial airline. And I was kind of like, dude, you know, can you start doing some of these things when you're on the road? And so when you come home, you'll actually be well and we can enjoy our time together. And so one thing that I was able to get him to do was to take the Ningxia packets on the road with him. And he started doing that, drinking a packet every single day when he was on the road. And it changed his immune system. I mean, he was able to be in a place where he could fight off of those things that were bombarding him, right, when you're flying on the airplane. So make sure you check out Ningxia Red if you haven't already put that into your routine, because it will literally be a piece to the puzzle to keep your family well during the winter season and fall. And then it goes over, and then it's helpful for people with allergies, especially seasonal allergies. That was something for me. I used to struggle with seasonal allergies, and that falls into respiratory health, right? That's what Michelle was just saying. So when you are giving your body great nutrients, then your inflammation goes down in your body, which is one of the precursors to having allergy experience. Your body is inflamed and it's fighting back. And so using Ningxia Red in the spring and then the summer too, it's just so good for you. So another one of my favorites for respiratory health is multigreens. So this is a supplement, which is exactly what it says. It's full of lots of green stuff. So it's a capsule. It's just a 00 type size capsule, and it has a ton of amazing ingredients in it. But this is going to really help your body be in a position, like I said, to get those things that you probably aren't getting on a daily basis. And I mean, I'm kind of lazy sometimes, and I would much rather take a capsule with some things in it than have to drink my big green smoothie or, you know, whatever. So multigreens is a daily supplement for me that makes a big difference. And my 10-year-old has been taking it now for about 2.5 or 3 years. So he's learned to take capsules, which has been a game changer. So if you have young ones and you're thinking, oh, I can't give them supplements because they aren't able to take supplements, I would encourage you to work with them. You can start with even an empty capsule, and then have them learn how to do it. They put it in their mouth and you drink the water. And to take a capsule, you want them to actually bend down to swallow, because the capsule floats and then it's much easier for them to get it down. But so sulfurzyme and multigreens are ones that are definite on my son's daily routine. So one of the last ones I'm going to talk about here is ImmuPro. Can you see this? ImmuPro. So ImmuPro has our wolfberry in it, which is the same thing that is in Ningxia Red. Okay, so you're getting the wolfberry, but it also has calcium, it has zinc, it has selenium, and it has a little bit of copper, and it has some essential oils in it, but it has a little bit of melatonin. So this is really a great one to have. I'll show you what it looks like. It's throwing it around. It's just like a little, I don't know, it's not a tablet. What do you call that? A little round doober. But it's chewable and it tastes good. So this one is great for all ages, because if you want to give it to your little ones, you could cut it in half. A whole one isn't going to hurt. I think we probably started giving a whole one from the time my son was 4 and up. So, but these are a great one when you are feeling a little bit under the weather, that it gives your body just enough melatonin to relax so that you're actually getting really good rest, because we know, right? The body heals itself when it is getting good sleep. And so if you want to keep it operating smoothly, you want to be getting good sleep. So anyway, so those are a few of my tips. And the last one I wanted to share, I shared this a few months ago in another wellness class that I taught, but I think it's worth repeating again. And it is about making sure that in the winter, fall and winter, that you have humidity going in your house. And so it's great to have diffusers, but I will tell you, it is highly likely that just running some diffusers is not going to produce the humidity that you are going to want in your home in order to keep things really good. And I'm flipping through my notes here real quick, sorry, to I wanted to give you the statistics, because I actually had some great, yes. So a recent study found that raising indoor humidity levels to at least 43% had a dramatic effect on approximately 85% of airborne viruses, rendering them virtually ineffective. As a result, researchers are now contemplating increasing humidity levels in hospitals across the nation. So grab a humidifier on Amazon or your local, Target or whatever, and make sure that you are running it. So have some water and just keep it going, because when we can create that space in our home where things are going to be, really healthy, and it's our haven that people can come home to, it's going to be really beneficial. So anyway, all right, well, let's open it up to a few questions and see. I'll mute you, Michelle, too, and then yeah, so if you have a question, go ahead and type it in the chat. I can see who's watching on Facebook too. So if you have a question and you're watching on Facebook, you can type it in the comment there, or if you're wanting to unmute yourself here on Zoom, you are totally able to do that too.
Someone asked about the spray, the sinus spray. So just real quick, I just get, well, I can grab one, but it's basically a spritzer, like a nasal sprayer. I just do some Himalayan sea salt. I add the oils, and then I fill it with distilled water, shake really well, and that's what I give to my dad. He loves that. He uses a neti pot too, but he has been able to not be on all of those things that he was on before. He's been able to kind of get off some of that and use the oils. So it's, yeah, really easy actually. I'll just grab that in case anyone wants to see it.
I see Stacy, who's on Facebook, says, I'm so stuffy at night, the first thing in the morning, and my mouth is super dry. I need help. Yeah, I would definitely be looking at some of these respiratory oils to be in your diffuser at night. So make sure that it's right on your nightstand. And what I love about using an oil like Breathe Again, which is already diluted, is I love to roll it right across my forehead and then down here like this. And that seems to open my airways up. Go ahead, Michelle.
Yep, so I just got a little bag of these, and yeah, nasal sprayer. It's about an ounce and super easy. So awesome. Really the oils have really helped him. Like I said, he had several sinus surgeries and infections all the time, and he hasn't had anything in the last few years. And I really think it's because he's been using the oils regularly. He also uses the Ningxia, and it's the one thing I forgot that I put in my notes here that I forgot to say was some foods that help us with respiratory support, and a few of these are actually in Ningxia. Beets, peppers, apples, pumpkin and squash, tomato, turmeric, blueberries, green tea, red cabbage, and edamame. So there are quite a few fruits in Ningxia, and all of those are the top 10 foods for respiratory support. So I thought that was interesting.
That is good. I love that. Okay, I'm scrolling on Facebook to see if anybody has any other questions here. All right, and then let's see. Somebody asked, can it be too humid? I don't know, because like Florida's pretty humid. So I mean, I think it goes with your comfort level. Obviously, if it's too humid in your house and your house is, having mold grow, that's a completely different thing. But I think running a couple of humidifiers, you're gonna be pretty safe from having it too humid.
And I love too that the Young Living diffusers are quite humidifying. If you put like right by your bed, you really do get some of that too. And that is so important in the fall, winter months.
Totally. So, all right.
Unmute and ask a question.
What was it?
Oh, I just didn't know if anybody wanted to unmute.
I will.
Yay.
Hey, Becca.
Hi. Okay. You know how we were talking about detox baths, right? Are those safe when you're pregnant?
If I were pregnant, I would be using Epsom salt in a detox bath. Yes. So I would just be aware of the oils that maybe you want to be cautious about when you're pregnant. So I wouldn't be taking a big Epsom salt bath in peppermint. That would be kind of uncomfortable anyway, because peppermint is a spicier oil anyhow. But I would say for the most part, yeah, most of the other oils that we talked about tonight, I think would be perfectly safe.
Yeah, and I had answered it in the chat, but I don't think it went to everyone for some reason. I did through my pregnancies, I just didn't do it so hot. And I take a detox bath every day now. But I took a lot of bath. I'm a bath person, but I just remember like, in my research, or I don't know if my doctor said just not to do like a super hot bath. So more warm.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Becca. All right, we were gonna give away, I've got 2 right here. I said I was giving away 2 rose rollers, okay? So I can see who's on the Zoom here. And so Michelle, I need you to pick 2 numbers between 2 and 23.
Okay, number 4 and number 11.
Okay, so now I'm pulling up the people, so. Okay, so Brenda, I'm not sure, Brenda, your last name, you're gonna want to make sure that you reach out to me. So Brenda, and then, oh, and Darlene Pavone, she got the one. So Brenda, are you able to unmute yourself, Brenda, and tell me who your last name so I know where to send your rose roller? Or type it in the chat, or you can Facebook message me after. Okay. Well, we will find you. We will hunt you down, Brenda.
I have Brenda Ramey.
Okay.
R-A-M-E-Y.
That's you. All right. You got it. I got it written down. Awesome. Thank you.
Yay.
Yay. So, all right. Well,
Thank
if we
you
don't
very
have,
much.
oh, you're welcome. If we don't have any other questions, then I think we are set. Thank you, Michelle. You shared a lot of awesome information that I think will be really helpful. So these are things that you want to think about now, friends, right? Okay, we don't want to be waiting until we need these items and you know, we're like, somebody isn't feeling 100%, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm almost out of my Raven or my RC, or I don't have Breathe Again. Think about, you know, 2 or 3 of the things that we talked about today and get them in your essential rewards order. If you're not on essential rewards, I would reach out to the person that invited you here or shared with you, because we want to make sure that you know about the options that are that you get with essential rewards, because you earn a percentage back on your order, and there's loyalty gifts that come from that. And so when you're incorporating Young Living into a healthy lifestyle, it's really the best way to get the biggest bang for your buck. So definitely something to look into. So, and yes.
And Robinson is free this month.
Yes.
So I'm excited
there
about
you
that.
go. Right.
Yeah.
Get a couple other things, and then you can grab that one for free. So perfect. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
You.
And we will see you later. Thanks again, Michelle.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.